Good morning, friends. It's Marie, and welcome to Real Life on the Homestead in Ontario. Today, leg of lamb in the wood-fired oven. I do have the pizza oven, and I use it a lot like just a wood-fired oven. It's not just for pizza, come on. You have that smoke, that woody flavor. You flavor it with some apple wood or cherry wood, and you got a whole different ball game going on. So I'm gonna be doing a few more recipes cooking in the wood-fired oven because I've had a lot of requests for that. Today, I am gonna be firing up some pizzas for the family, and then with that residual heat, remember, when you're doing a pizza, you're getting up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the stone is hot. So I'm gonna let it drop to about, 600, throw in the lamb, and then forget about it. You will see the spectacular lamb I end up with. So stay tuned, it's gonna be delicious. Lamb was on sale a few weeks back. So what I ended up doing was just grabbing a bunch of these legs and throwing them in the freezer because, I don't know, $25 for a leg of lamb, you cannot go wrong. This will not just be 1 or 2 meals, it'll be several. And my husband's not crazy about lamb. What does that mean? More for me. So I have the lamb here. I am gonna take off this almost like silver skin that's on the edge, and that way we can get the spices in there. See how I could just separate the meat from this skin? Really helps to get it off. Try not to put this on my counter because I just disinfected it. But this pan keeps moving on me. This is real life. This is the trials and tribulations of the kitchen, right? But I'm trying to do this inside the pan. Keep my counter clean. Yes, I know I could put a wet cloth under my pan to keep it from moving, but I was being lazy. Trying not to get into the meat or the flesh, just taking off the silver skin because we don't need that for anything. Oh, getting a little bit into the skin there, so you're gonna have to be a little bit more gentle. This is working well. And this is not like a good fat that you want. It's just that silver skin. And even though I like doing my carnivore regiment, I definitely like my spices because meat is a wonderful thing, but flavorful meat is even better, in my opinion. And remember, everybody does their own thing. Some people can't tolerate spices. I don't think I have an issue with it, except for cayenne pepper. For some reason, cayenne pepper does not do well with me, but other things I'm pretty good with. I'm probably going off the camera right now because this is just sliding everywhere. Oh, come on. This is what we want. We want a nice, clean piece of meat. And then I'm just gonna score it because I want those spices and flavors to get in there. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. My leg of lamb is cleaned up and scored nicely. So now, time to make our spice rub. Sauce, whatever you may call it. I'm gonna start off with about a teaspoon of cumin, or 2 teaspoons. I like that flavor. A teaspoon of garlic, because I will throw in some fresh garlic. This is my own freeze-dried garlic that I make. Let's do a good heaping teaspoon of paprika. And about 2 teaspoons of salt. These are measurements based on how I like things. And now to this, oh, you know what? I don't have any pepper in here. Let's get some pepper in here. About a teaspoon. So what I'm going to do is add some olive oil to this to make a marinade. And what would I say? I think I would say I'm doing about a half a cup. Yeah, I think about half a cup. And I do adjust based on what I like. Right now this looks really good. I'm just gonna smell it. I think I'd like more cumin in there. This is how I cook. Some people need exact measurements. I go by what I enjoy. Oh, that smells nice. Okay, so this is going to go over my lamb and vegetables, but I need some rosemary, some onions, and garlic. Come outside with me and let's go grab some. The onions aren't ready for harvest, but every once in a while I steal a few because the potency of these fresh onions is amazing. And the garlic is definitely not yet ready to pick. I usually wait for about 4 leaves to be dried up. And at this time, if you look at the bottom, only 1 leaf per stalk is dried. So I'm still waiting for them to die off. But let me see if I can find one that's just a little bit drier and steal it out of the garlic. Oh, there. Let's see how this one works. Okay, that's not bad. That's about 3 to 4 bulbs in there. I'll take it. That works just fine. And what I do is I keep a pail in the garden, and it's just basically collects rainwater. And anytime I take something, I just rinse it off in there before bringing it in the house and cleaning it properly. Just make sure that I get that dirt or that soil off of it. And you know what? I just pour that back in the garden. Yeah, Jamie's out there mowing the lawn, and it's not just to make the place look good. It also keeps the mosquitoes down. But what I do is before it dries up, I rake up a bunch of these clippings and I throw them into my chicken yard because they're not free ranging out in the yard. Number one, they poop everywhere. And also we have predators. So I throw in greens regularly. And when it's fresh cut grass, they so enjoy it. So I'm gonna add in some potatoes. Jamie loves potatoes, but I'm not peeling them. What I'm gonna do is just scrub them really well. I actually use a stainless steel pot scrubber that I use just for vegetables, just to make sure I get every little thing off of there. And let me show you how I put this together. I grab my potatoes and I just place them around the lamb. And because the bone is here, I'm not chopping this bone off. I'm leaving everything. They're just gonna fit in there nicely. Perfect. I could actually give it a little bit more room. And then I'm gonna move that out of the way for a second. Grab those beautiful onions I just grabbed out of the garden. I'm using a meat knife for my vegetables. It's a little bit better. Chef's knife seems to work a bit better for handling it and not chopping my fingers off. So just outer skin. Look how gorgeous these are. And I'm just gonna throw those in, take that outer layer off. I had one that I had, instead of using this one, I have a half that I saved from another dish. So let's use that one up. Cut off that little dry piece. Perfect, this is what we need. So I'm just gonna throw those in. Beautiful aromatics. Save this for later. And that garlic bulb I just grabbed. Let me show you this. Move that out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. This garlic is, of course, not ready yet. So it's not cured, but I find the garlic out of the garden this early is so yummy. Oh, let's get in there. A little bit of muscle. Look at this. These are just developing into the most beautiful cloves. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut them in half. So I have it like this, and I'm throwing them in. That'll give a really nice flavor to this pan. I can't wait to harvest my garlic this year because it is looking lovely. If this was just with one dried leaf, when there's 4 dried leaves, this is gonna be spectacular. Throw those in. Now I do have some of my garlic that I made garlic pucks in the freezer, and I can add that in, but between the garlic powder and this fresh garlic, I think that's plenty. So this is what we're looking like. If I had, I'm gonna just cut this a little bit smaller because it looks like those chunks are a little bit too big. There we go. Now, if I had carrots, I would add some carrots in. I don't have any right now, so that's just fine. And then taking my marinade, mixing it up because it seems like the paprika always clumps at the bottom. And I'm going to start off by going on the lamb. That's the first spot I want to have lots of this marinade on. Look how beautiful this looks. And then I'm gonna just drizzle some over the vegetables. We're good. No waste. Absolutely gorgeous. And then to finish it off, some of that rosemary that I grabbed out of my herb pot. And with this, I'm going to cover it. Now, you could just cover it with foil and do it that way. I don't like the idea of foil touching my food. So what I do, I place a piece of parchment over the food as such. And then I place the foil over the pan. I do have a lid for this pan and I could use that, but this seems to work just fine right now, and that's what I'm doing. So just sealing it up. I'll take this down to our wood-fired oven, place it in there, and then I'm saying 3 to 4 hours it should be done. I am so excited for this because I was in Jordan and I ate lamb every day, and I'm just craving those flavors right now. Well, looks like my oven has died down in the heat. The top is white. That means it's heated all over. It's at, looks like 900 degrees. So I'm gonna push those coals back, cook my pizza, and then I'll be using that residual heat for my lamb. Pizzas are almost done. That lamb is saying, let me in. We're going in. And I'm leaving that at the edge And we're gonna forget about this for about 3 to 4 hours. I can already hear the sizzling starting. Can you hear it? Well, friends, one thing I do is pride myself on being honest with what we're doing here on the homestead. I try to edit very, very little off my videos, trying to keep it real because this is real life on the homestead. And pulled that lamb out of the oven, showed it to you, tasted it, was beautiful, thought it was great, and then I screwed up big time. I deleted that segment of the video. So I can't show you what ended up happening when it came out of the oven. And that doesn't make for a very good video. But what I did is I did save all the clips. And today I'm doing another leg of lamb in the wood-fired oven. So I am going to show you the results of that. However, the seasonings are different. This time I'm using my brisket rub, and I will actually link my brisket recipe below so that you could see how I made the rub. And here we are. This is what my leg of lamb looks like. Instead of cooking it at that high temperature that I did the last one at, I'm going to wait until my pizza oven, wood-fired oven, gets down to temperature about 450, and then I'm gonna put this leg of lamb in and leave it. I'm going to let it sit several hours. I'm just gonna let the oven cool off while the lamb is cooking, and this time we'll taste it, and I won't delete the video. I will not screw up the same mistake twice. So I will be sharing this with you today. Just finished baking up some pizza, and as you can see, I have red hot coals in there. And when I check the temperature, it is almost 800. That is way too hot to put that lamb in. So I'm gonna just leave this be. I'm gonna spread out the coals, I think, so that they cool off a little faster. Grab my rake. I'm just gonna put the coals all over the bottom of my oven, which actually heats up the floor of the oven. But if I leave this open, it will start to, cool off a little bit. And I'll come back and check on it and then get that lamb in there. Let me show you. I'm going to use my roasting pan, and without the foil this time, I'm gonna actually use a lid on it. And this, I'm just waiting. I'm doing this one-handed, as you can tell by my clumsiness. Anyway, I'm gonna throw that in. Once the oven hits, I'd say about 450, but no hotter, because I'm going to leave it overnight roasting really slow. So I might even drop it like to 375. I have lots of time. Just pull this out of the oven. Friends, look at this beauty. I wish I could have shown you the last one we did, but at least I get to share this one with you. Look how gorgeous it is. It's hot, but I've got to touch it to show you how tender and flaky it is. Look at that, beautiful. And this is flaky, juicy, just so delicious. If you have a wood-fired oven, you need to try this. Shouldn't talk with my mouth full. But if you were smelling this, you'd want to get into it too. This is a beautiful way to do lamb. And you could do it on your barbecue. Just keep it on a low heat, and it's gonna take a while, or you can do it in the oven. But that smoky flavor that gets in there, and the no work, because I left it overnight, it was basically down to like 300 degrees overnight, makes for a beautiful, beautiful meal. So thanks for your patience on this two-part video, since I screwed up the first one. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for supporting our channel. Have a great day. And go out, live your best life. Remember to keep sharing with your friends.